Excuse me, I was just stuffing my face with a coconut cream pie. Don't ask me for the macros. I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm sure they'll be improved greatly with the use of the bread at the bottom, the protein-sparing bread. But hey, this is for a keto day. Keto day, not protein-sparing. Hi everyone. Today I am making a keto Thanksgiving meal. It's going to include brisket, some dressing, and coconut cream pie. I'm Anita from KetogenicWoman.com, where I share keto and carnivore recipes and other cooking ideas. If you're new here, welcome. Check out some of my other videos. It's so good to have you here. All you returning subscribers, welcome back, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Okay, everybody, it is Canadian Thanksgiving weekend. We don't actually have a designated day. Some people celebrate it on the Sunday. Some people celebrate it on the Monday. We always get the Monday off. And so it becomes a Thanksgiving weekend. We can celebrate all weekend if we want. So today I'm making some Thanksgiving menu items. They are what I would consider to be alternative to the usual. We kind of, in our family, my eldest son, he and his family, they make a big turkey dinner with stuffing and pumpkin pie, all that other stuff. And then other people bring the other menu items. All that is canceled this year. Everybody is sick. They've all got the flu. The grandkids are all vomiting and have fevers, and they're home. They've been home from school all week. Anyways, I'm going ahead with these things because I already defrosted some meat here and made some other stuff. So it's okay. We're going to do it anyways. So here's what's on the menu. I've got a brisket here. It's been thawing out for a couple of days. This is 3 pounds. I trimmed it down to 3 pounds. It will take about 3 hours to cook in the oven, which reminds me, I'm going to run and turn that on right now. Okay, I have set the oven to 250 degrees, which seems low, but I will explain that in a moment when I come back to the brisket. The next thing, these are the brisket trimmings, and I was quite generous with the brisket trimmings because I wanted to end up with a 3-pound brisket, and I wanted to have lots of trimmings. I'm going to bake it along with the brisket, and then I'm going to air fry them for what is called crispy bits, which are so good. So that's that. In here, I have dressing. This would be, or some people call it stuffing, dressing, whatever. Normally, this would be inside a turkey. So this was a complete experiment. It kind of failed, but I think I'm going to save it. So I had thought, okay, I'm going to make a protein-sparing stuffing casserole. And so I made this for dinner the other night. I will list down what's in it, but I'll just say it right now too. So it's 1 pound of ground turkey, a couple of stalks of celery, about a piece of leek that's about this long of the white. Chopped it all up, lots of poultry seasoning, and a loaf of the protein-sparing bread cut up into small cubes. So I baked that. The seasoning was really good. It tasted really good, but it was very dry. It needs to be inside a turkey and absorb some fat. So I'm going to cook it alongside this, and I think once it absorbs a little bit of fat, it's going to taste like stuffing of some kind. I'm hoping. So what I don't have in front here, but I'm going to be working on after I get all this started, is I'm also going to make JanetGreta's coconut cream pie, which I'm really excited about. It's been probably more than 20 years since I've tasted a coconut cream pie, and I've actually never made one myself. So this is going to be Very experimental, but that's okay because she did it on video. I watched her a couple of times doing it, so I think I can do it, and I am going to do it. So we'll get started with the brisket. Okay, so I'm going to put salt and pepper rub on the brisket, and probably on this too. Normally I do this the night before, but I forgot, so now it is. I see that my pepper has settled, so I want to just mix this up. What this is I do 3 parts kosher salt to 1 part white pepper. So I'm just going to sprinkle some of this and rub it in. And then I'm going to rub some along the sides. And put a little bit over here on this stuff. These are going to be good. I'm pretty sure they're going to be good. So I've made brisket different ways, like in slow cooker and pressure cooker, and baking it on low oven for an hour per pound is my favorite way to do it. And then you brown it afterwards, like under the broiler. You could put some barbecue sauce at the end, but I'll show you all that when it is ready. Oh, I also wanted to put some smoked sea salt on it. This is applewood smoked. And that will hopefully just give it an extra little layer of flavor. I don't have a smoker, so I can only dream. add some smoked sea salt. Oh, my oven is ready, which is good. I'm also, of course, going to put my dressing in here. Just going to dump it in. And just kind of form it tightly on the side here. Now, I have no idea whether this is going to be any good or not, but it was too dry to eat, honestly. I mean, we ate some and it tasted good, but I just kept, every bite I was like, oh, this is so dry. It doesn't taste the way I want it to taste. But if this works, I'll be very happy. Okay, so then the oven is ready. It needs to be completely covered. Now, I have put it in one of these disposable things because it can really make a mess, and sometimes it's just easier to toss that bottom part away. The other thing that's good about doing it this way in one of these is if you ever wanted to bake it all the way done, you can just then take this, cover it, and put it in the freezer. Because it does take a long time to bake, and so it's one of those things that's really good to make ahead. Also, I don't trust these. This thing here is from the dollar store. I don't trust it that it will not leak, so this is extra insurance for the bottom of the oven. So I am going to cover these things very well, because they are going to bake low and slow. Oh, I think I might be almost out, but I'm sure I bought another one. Okay, so I'm going to put this in the oven. I'm going to set the timer for 3 hours. Although I might check this one halfway through because it's small pieces. But this one will take the full 3 hours to cook. And then, so after I put this in the oven, I'm going to then get everything ready to make the pie. Okay, so my oven doesn't go for 3 hours, or at least I can't figure out how to make it do 3 hours on the timer. So using my phone. So at any rate, it'll be fine. So I'm now going to get everything ready for making the coconut cream pie. Okay, so I think I have everything ready. I'm going to start with the pie crust. This recipe is JanetGreta. It's her coconut cream pie, and I will link that video of hers down below. I'm making a half recipe for the crust, which I've never made in this big mixer before, so I'm really hoping that turns out. So I'm putting in a half a cup only of the egg white, carton egg whites. This is about 120 milliliters. And I'm going to put in 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. And get that going on the mixer here. All right, so we'll get this going. Okay, I'm going to put all the dry ingredients in a bowl. That's 1/3 of a cup of egg white protein powder and 1 teaspoon of nutritional yeast. I want 1 teaspoon of the confectioner's swerve. Oops, wrong bag. There it is. One-eighth of a teaspoon of dry active yeast. And half a teaspoon of xanthan gum. I like the colored spoons. I can tell what they are then. So I'm just stirring it all together, and then this is what will go into the egg whites when they're ready. Okay, I've got all my dry ingredients ready to go here. And I'm going to put them in. Well, I usually like to make a little well. Put them in like that. And then I'm going to stir it. Okay, that looks pretty nicely combined.
Oh yeah, that's probably good enough.
The other thing I like to do is just to make sure, because sometimes there's stuff around the edges or at the bottom, I'm just going to incorporate it lightly. Make sure it's all through here. All right, so here is my pie plate. So I honestly, even though I watched it a couple of times, can't remember if JanetGreta sprayed her pie plate or not. I'm just gonna err on the side of caution and grab my spray. Got some coconut oil spray here. Oh, I'm running out. Hopefully there's enough there to do the job. Now I'm going to put it in. Oops. Oh, half a recipe is more than enough for a pie crust, I think. I might need to do something else here too. See what happens when I spread it out. No, maybe, because you know, there's the coconut cream probably needs a good layer to hold it up. This is a 9-inch pie plate. If JanetGreta is watching, she might be cringing right now. I don't know. I hope I have got the right amount in here. I'm gonna try to push it up the sides here. It's always fun to watch somebody making your recipe on YouTube, because I get that too, where people will make something of mine and I'll be going, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. You know what? Somehow it always works out, and it really just matters what it tastes like, right? There. I think this will do. Now, because my oven is occupied at 250 for the next 3 hours, I'm going to bake this in the toaster oven, which I need to turn on. I'm just preheating that. Okay, we are ready. Going into my toaster oven at 325. Now I'm going to bring out all the things I need to make the pie filling. Okay, so I am back. I am making the coconut cream filling. I have 2 cups of heavy cream in here on medium heat. I need to bring it to a simmer. In this bowl, I have 2 large eggs plus 1 egg yolk. And I'm going to whisk in 1/3 of a cup of the Lakanto monk fruit sweetener. Okay, so I'm just whisking in 1/3 of a cup of the sweetener with the egg yolk and the 2 eggs, while keeping an eye on my cream here. We want to get the cream just to a simmer. It's not quite there yet. Oops. So as soon as that is simmering, what I'm going to do is put a little bit of it into this egg mixture to temper the eggs, and then I will add this all into that pot, along with 2 tablespoons of butter and 1 cup of unsweetened coconut. Okay, I can see it's almost at a simmer here. Okay, so I'm just going to scoop out some of this hot cream mixture. It is at a simmer, and just slowly put it in here. If you just add the eggs and the hot mixture all together all at once, what can happen is that the eggs get scrambled, and we don't want that. Then I'm going to add this whole thing in here slowly. Okay, so I'm going to whisk that and let it cook. I've got it on low now. I'm going to let it cook for another couple of minutes until the mixture thickens. We've got about 4 or 5 minutes left on the pie crust. It has to cool. And once this is done, it will have to cool as well. So far, this is looking perfect. It's a nice, creamy, smooth mixture. No scrambled eggs. Not quite thick enough yet, so I guess I'll just keep whisking. It's getting thicker. It's starting to coat my spoon. That's how you can tell. So I'm going to give it 1 more minute. Okay, I'm going to take this off the heat now. Because I think it's nice and thick. Oh, it made a little bit of a mess here, but that's okay. Okay, so now in goes the butter and a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Oops. Maybe 3/4 of a teaspoon. And a teaspoon of coconut extract. And my 1 cup of coconut. Okay. Oh, this is going to be good. So what will happen is this will go in the fridge and it will thicken up and be a nice custard to go into the pie. All right, so I'm just going to let that cool down for a moment before I put it in the fridge because I want to bring the pie crust out here. Okay, so here is the pie crust. I'm not going to let it sit in there. I have a feeling that this might overflow.
JanetGreta, are you laughing out there somewhere?
That's okay if I have to. So here's what I do. And you know what? I'm okay with showing my mistakes and errors in judgment on camera because I think we all can learn a little bit. I should have followed my first instinct and maybe not put the whole thing. However, if I'm really lucky, letting it sit here, this might sink down and there'll be plenty of room for my lovely cream. So let's hope, let's see what happens. This is my first time doing a pie crust and I'm okay if it's not perfect. It's going to taste amazing. That's the important thing. So I'm going to let both these things cool down. I will put this one in the fridge. We will come back maybe in half an hour or so and put the cream custard layer into the pie. And we'll see you back shortly in the next segment. Okay. Okay, so the filling has cooled down. It's looking thicker. I let it cool down in the fridge for 25 minutes or so. This has sunk. It looks like a pie crust. I'm
So grateful
for that. I was imagining myself having to carve some pie crust out. So I am going to pour this in. It's still liquidy. This is going to be amazing, I can tell. I can hardly wait. All right, look at this. I have to admit, I had a moment of panic there when I saw how big and puffy that pie crust was. But that looks perfect. That timer was for me to take this out of the fridge, but I've already done that. So the brisket is still cooking away. It's got another couple hours left to go. So I'm going to make the topping for this because what is coconut cream pie without a mountain of whipped cream on top? So, okay, I think probably a cup of whipping cream should be fine. Should be enough for one pie. Okay, so there's the heavy cream. Going to let's put in a little bit of vanilla. Looks like half a teaspoon. And a little bit of Swerve confectioners going in there. 3 tablespoons should do it. I mean, you can make this as sweet or not. I mean, I normally have my cream topping non-sweet. I just whip up the cream. And I like it that way, but it's Thanksgiving and we're doing coconut cream pie. Let's pull out all the stops today. Okay, so I'm going to let this whip up until it's whipped cream topping. I wonder if it needs to be a little stiffer. I think it's okay. Okay. I'm going to put this on top. And then this needs to go in the fridge for 2 or 3 hours to get nice and stiff, I guess. Cuttable. We want it to be sliceable later. Just going to smooth that over. Wow, 1 cup is kind of barely enough. I probably should have put the whole thing in. But that's okay. Next time I'll know. I know one question that will come up because I've been asked this before on some of my other keto day recipes. And that is, why bother using a protein-sparing pie crust for a keto recipe on a keto day? Well, there's a couple of reasons that I do it. And sometimes I'll make a keto recipe using protein-sparing bread in it, whereas in the old days I would have used keto bread. One of the reasons is that almond flour, coconut flour, those sorts of things, that's what most people on keto make their crusts from. My stomach cannot, I cramp terribly when I have almond flour now and coconut flour. So the nut flours just don't agree with me. The other thing is, if you look at the macros, if you go to key in any recipe into Carb Manager, say that's how I calculate all my macros, is in the custom recipe section of Carb Manager. You put in the crust first, you will see that the crust has most of the carbs. This protein-sparing bread, yeah, it's Thanksgiving, yeah, we're making a keto recipe, but you're saving a lot of carbs by using the protein-sparing crust. So anytime I can save some carbs and spend them on the filling, to me that's a good thing to do. So that's why. So doesn't that look beautiful? I have to admit I probably should have used more whipped cream, but it's okay. I think it's going to be amazing. Next time I'm going to double it because it should be high on a coconut cream pie. But anyways, into the fridge it goes, and we'll see you back here 2 to 3 hours. Well, yeah, when the brisket is ready to come out, we'll see you back here. I'm going to go rake the leaves. Look at that gorgeous day out there. You should get a shot of those red leaves. Okay, I'm back. So things took a little bit longer. I had a couple of things that went not disastrously wrong, but just a little wrong. I checked the brisket at about the 3-hour mark. It should have been pretty much done. But what I had done was I had my oven tray set for the protein-sparing bread, which needs to be in the middle. Well, when you slow cook a brisket, the oven rack needs to be on the bottom. So I've cooked it for another hour, and I'm really hoping that this will do the trick. Everything else is ready. So I'm going to pull all that over here and show you what this Thanksgiving feast is going to look like. And just hang on, I'll be right back. All right, so there's the dressing, this pie. All right, so I have my brisket. What we have here, we've got the dressing, and it tastes, I tasted it already, because it sat in here with the brisket, which I'm going to leave covered so that it has a chance to sort of rest. It sat in this pan with the brisket, and just like I thought, once it absorbed all the juicy fat from the brisket, this tastes 1,000 times better. It's crumbly though, so I didn't have anything in there to hold it together, but it tastes really good. It'll make a good side dish. Here's my crispy bits. Now, this is sort of a two-step process. So what I did was I just baked these trimmings in there. They're fully cooked. They're already looking like burnt ends or crispy bits, but my plan with these is I will cut this whole tray, like this will probably be tomorrow night's dinner. I will cut the whole tray into small bite-sized chunks, and then I'm going to throw it in the air fryer for 10 minutes or something, and it's going to get really crispy and hopefully some crunchiness going on in there. It's going to be really good. I'm super excited about that one, but that's tomorrow's dinner. We of course have the fabulous coconut cream pie, which has now set. I can hardly wait to cut into that pie. Oh, I want to do something with that pie before I forget. I toasted some coconut. Toasting the coconut is really easy to do. You just put coconut on a little tray and 350 for about 5 minutes. I just did it in my toaster oven, but it just makes for a nice contrast on the topping. So I'm just going to sprinkle that on. I probably have too much here. And I had bought some big flake coconut for this, but you can just even use the same stuff that you use for inside the pie. I bought the granola size, I think. All right, that's probably enough. And so in here is the brisket. So it's got a lot of sauce in there that can be used for gravy. I have no one coming, so it won't, I'm not really going to be presenting any of this, but it was all defrosted, so I thought I may as well make it. So normally I would allow this brisket to rest for probably, the longer you let it rest, the better. So I'm going to cover it back up. Right now I am going to continue to let it rest. So I'm going to put these other things away, and I'm going to cut the pie. Because to be honest, the pie is what I really want. What I really want. I am going to test out this magical looking pie.
This is so exciting. Oh my goodness.
I don't know. I'm going to show you this piece here because you can see what the inside looks like better. And now, the moment I've been waiting for to taste it. So let me see here. Oh my goodness. Think I can fit it in my mouth? Oh, JanetGreta. You have made my day. This is so delicious. Make sure you check out the link to her YouTube channel below, where I will link the video where she makes this pie. I'm definitely making this again. I'm definitely not inviting my sister over tomorrow to help me with this. Wow. Okay, having another piece. I'm going in for another one. And the filling has softened up the protein sparing crust. I know a lot of times people think that that can be quite dry, but with this filling sitting on there, that's not a problem. That is not a problem at all. So yeah, don't be afraid of that. And then by tomorrow, I think it's going to probably be even softer. But this is delicious. This is sweet and creamy and everything I dreamed about. I want to do a happy dance, but I won't. So that's, a little bit of Canadian Thanksgiving using kind of non-traditional things, not the pumpkin pie, not the turkey. But these are things that I can, eat for the next few days. And Thanksgiving dinner with my family has been already rescheduled for next Saturday at 5 o'clock. So, yeah, it's not all is lost. And hopefully by then they will all feel better and we can go and have a good time. So we'll see you again. And I will put all of the relevant links below to whatever might help you with these recipes. See you next time. Excuse me while I eat the pie.
Lost my train of thought. Right, coming. I think this was my brisket fork. Excuse me, I was just stuffing my face with a coconut cream pie. Don't ask me for the macros. I don't know, I don't want to know. I'm sure they'll be improved greatly with the use of the bread at the bottom, the protein-sparing bread. But hey, this is for a keto day, not protein-sparing.